Right, let's see what we've got today that came through the post. I haven't got as far as opening it yet, so we'll have a little look and discard that. And a bit of bubble wrap, and here it is. Now, there's no instructions and there's no actual product name, but it's come from Siglomax, and back in June last year they were offering, I think it was 4 of these for free tested, and I applied and I have now received it, and it's March 2017 now. I think the hold up was they were waiting for a Mark II version to come out, although they did say that was going to be in an aluminium case, and actually it is. I thought that was plastic to start with. So there we are, nice little autopilot, and quite a large GPS unit compared to the size of the autopilot. Anyway, bit of harness work, no doubt to link the autopilot with your receiver, and a wee little screwdriver, nice little touch for making the adjustments to the pots. So there we are. I shall look forward to trying to piece this together, and no doubt struggle finding some online information, but we'll see about that, and then I'll report back later. So here we are, the Siglomax latest autopilot. Evening all. Right, here we have the Siglomax X2 version 2 flight controller that they've given me to test out and review. And the first stage of this, I think, is to just show you how the connections are made, and they're all fairly basic. So to start with, they supply you with this bunch of individual wires, and if you look at the flight controller, it's labelled here as to where they go. So this first row is indicating the top row of pins, and then obviously the middle row, and then this row here, the bottom row. So the first top pin we've got here that I've used with this yellow wire is marked A for aileron, so you just take it to the aileron on your receiver, on the signal side of your receiver. And the next one you'll see here is E for elevator, so I chose this white wire which goes to the signal output on your receiver again, and the same for the throttle, this white one. And then we'll drop down to the next row, which is R for rudder, so I've got the rudder connected up to the rudder output, or the rudder signal pin on your receiver. And then the bottom one is marked 3S, and that means your 3-position switch, which they recommend you assign to channel 6 on your transmitter. And then moving along to the next row, underneath the elevator here, we've got 2S, which is the 2-position switch, which they suggest you take to channel 5 on your receiver. And the bottom 2, in fact, go to ground, so they just go to the bottom row, or the ground row of pins on your receiver. So that's quite straightforward. And then from then on, it's just connecting your servos, and the signal side of them are all at the top. They don't mark it on here, and I think it's a shame. I think they should do, actually. But anyway, so you just plug in your, I've obviously chosen different positions here, but This is my elevator one I've chosen. This one says, sorry, that's aileron out, that one. The next one's elevator out, and the next one's throttle out, which in this case I've got going to a UBEC here, but it would usually be from your ESC obviously. And then the last one out here is rudder, which I've got going to this old servo, and this empty one here would be to plug in the GPS here when you're ready to use it. Well, obviously you leave it in full time on the plane, but at the moment I won't pick up a GPS signal indoors, so I've left it off. So that's how you plug it all in, and now let's see how it works, eh? Oh, one other thing is, first time I used this in a plane, I couldn't work out why every time I hit return to home, it threw the plane down the way violently, and it turned out that it was actually because this should be facing aft. So this arrow and where all the pins are should face backwards in your plane, and I had it the other way around because there was no marking on it. So that's worth knowing, and I think Siglomax should label that too. Okay. So we're in null or pass-through mode. We've got no lights on the unit showing, and we've got full control of, a manual control of the 3 servos, as we would do if we didn't have a flight controller installed at all. Now if we drop it to the middle, the 3 position switch to the middle position, you'll see we've got a single blue flash going on there. That's 3D mode. That's the only mode which has a bearing or an operation on the rudder servo, as you can see if you yaw it like that. And then if we drop it down to the bottom position of the 3-way switch, we get this double blue flashing going on, and that's your stabilize mode, as I'll show you here. So that's, if that was your aileron there, that's compensating for your roll, and then pitch on the elevator here. And if I yaw it around, you'll see there's no rudder action here. So that's basically that. And then if we were to select GPS, which would be bringing this switch down, we would have the same in the bottom position here, in as much as we would still have it in stabilize mode. But then instead of having 3D in the middle position, we would now have altitude and heading hold. And then in the uppermost position, we would have return to home. Right, another quickie here is just to show you how to adjust the gains on the flight controller to suit the control surfaces of your aircraft. So I'll just fire the thing up. Okay, so we'll start off with the aileron. In fact, I'll probably only need to do one. So at the moment we've got that amount of travel on the aileron. And if that wasn't sufficient, go to the aileron pot here with the little screwdriver they supply. Now if I take it fully to one direction, to the stop, that gives you the maximum amount of throw. And as you can see here, if I'm moving my stick to the right, the servo is going clockwise. Now if your surfaces were required to be the other way around, just turn the screwdriver fully to the left, to the stop, and now when I go to the right with my stick on my transmitter, you'll see the servo is going to the left with maximum amount of throw. So you go towards the middle, and as you go towards the middle, the amount of input reduces until you go over the middle, and now it's reversed it. Carry on going further to the right, and you get maximum gain again. So that's simple as that. Nice and easy. Applies to all your servos. Okay. Right, now we need to decide on which type of aircraft it's going to be installed in. So in my particular case, I wanted it to go into a standard aircraft. So what we do there is power our transmitter up, and we leave the GPS switch, 2-position switch, off, so that's uppermost. We move the 3-position switch to the middle, and then if we power the unit up, it should be in 3D mode, which is single blue flash, which it is. And then what you do is you hold your aileron stick hard right, watch those lights, and now it flashes once, you let go, and it will carry on just flashing the once. And that's indicating that it's in standard airplane mode. Now if you want to go to delta wing, you just carry on and hold the stick to the right until it flashes twice, like that. Let go of the stick, and now it will carry on flashing twice, and that's in delta wing. Now if you hold your aileron stick again hard right till you get 3, like that, and let go. Now we've got 3 flashes going on, which is suggesting it's in V-tail. And then if we do it once more, it cycles it back round to the single flash again, that one. Let go of the stick, and it's single flashing. So that's it set up for a conventional airplane layout. Right, now if you wanted to set the altitude at which you want it to return to home at, you do exactly the same as you did when choosing the model type, except the only difference is you have to have the GPS plugged in, and it has to have a GPS signal, which I can't get indoors here. But other than that, it's exactly the same. So we'll assume we've got a GPS signal here. We select 3D mode, which is the middle position of your 3-position switch, and GPS in this particular case would be on. So you'd have it down the way. And then power the unit up again. Hold the stick to the far right. And wait. So now we've got single flash going on. Now that would return the thing at 67 meters altitude. Now if you hold the switch, the lever to your right again, till you get 2 flashes, that doubles the altitude height, and it will now come back 134 meters high. And again, third time, look for 3 flashes. That's it now set to come back at 201 meters high. And that's it. That's the choices you get. Now, although the flight controller doesn't operate the throttle, you can preset a throttle position for your return to home. And the factory default is 50% throttle. But if you want any less or any more than that, all you have to do is move your throttle to the desired position. Okay? And then you push the screwdriver that's supplied, the little screwdriver, into this little hole marked SW. You'll feel, if you have a little feel around in there, you'll feel a switch which clicks. You can hear it audibly click. Press that, and then that's your throttle set to your chosen position. Okay? Right. So you've installed it in your plane. You've selected the right type of plane that it's going to be fitted in, and the first thing you need to do is calibrate the gyros. So you set the plane up nice and level, and make sure that the unit's fixed nice and level inside your aircraft. And then what you do is you have both your switches uppermost, so you're in pass-through or null mode. Power the unit up, and then hold the stick again far right and watch the lights. You can let go of the stick now, and those lights are flashing away as it's setting the gyros, and that's it, done. So that's your model all calibrated with the flight controller.